That's right. It's happening again, and I recognize it because I was around in 2000 and 2002 through 2008 through 2010. I saw it happen, and these faces I have on the thumbnail reflect who some of these people are. But it's happening again, and I want to share with you that there are 220 stocks that are up over 100% year to date. That represents roughly 3.6% of the 6,052 stocks that I follow. Of that, there are 21 that have a market cap in excess of $1 billion that are up over 100%. And then there are 11 stocks that have a market cap of over $1 billion and are showing a profit that are up over 100% year to date. Now, the question is, are you aware of them? Probably not, because the Dow is only up 1.8%, and yet there are 220 stocks that are up over 100%. Now, the S&P is up 12.27, but of the 11 that are up over 100% that have a $1 million market cap and are showing a profit, they are the ones that are holding up the S&P. So it's happening again. And the key is to recognize who are these people and who are these stocks and who are these companies and get on the bus.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Who are these 220 stocks that are up as much as over 1,000% year to date? Well, there are a lot of them that are in the AI field. There are a lot of them that are in the field of pharmaceuticals and genome sequencing and things of those natures, because artificial intelligence is going to affect every aspect. And right now we're building out the infrastructure. And so there are software companies, there are semiconductor companies, there are database companies that are just exceeding. Well, the one that stands out, of course, is NVIDIA. I had breakfast this morning with a friend of mine, and he made a statement. He says, "You remember my nephew went to work for NVIDIA 6 years ago up in Huntsville, Alabama?" I said, "Yeah, how's Scott doing?" He said, "I was with him last weekend for a run up in Huntsville, and he told me he already has over $1 million in his retirement account in NVIDIA stock." And this dude is 25 years old. So can it happen? Can it happen to you? Well, you may not be employed by NVIDIA, but you can certainly own some of their stock. And as I said, there's 220 stocks that are up over 100% year to date, and we're only halfway through the year. What's going to happen in the future? Or is this just a flash in the pan and the video will crash and it'll all be over? I don't think so. If you understand why NVIDIA is up, you can then figure out who these other stocks are. Because let's face it, why is NVIDIA up? Why that high? Why isn't some of the other semiconductors? Because NVIDIA makes the chip, the semiconductor that runs the games. I don't know the games. I don't play the games. But if I were guessing, I would say that a game on a computer uses up as much energy and computing power as 5,000 websites. Well, the websites can be handled by CPU chips, but the games have to be handled by GPU chips. And who is the largest manufacturer? Well, it's NVIDIA. So my task is to go through this list of 220 other stocks that are up 100% year to date and see if they have any consistency going back 10 years, and if they can stand the test of time, and are they profitable? That's something that is very important to me. And are they sizable enough so that they can withstand any of the pressures? I've gone through this with the genome sequencing and the genome editing stocks, and I got in too early, and therefore I lost some money, substantial money. But this is different. This doesn't have to have FDA approval. They don't have to sit down and say, okay, NVIDIA or AMD, what is going to be the effect of your chip 6 years from now? Well, that's what they have to do with the pharmaceuticals that they put in our bodies to take away cancer or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or any of these things. You got to get FDA approval, and you only get FDA approval after you do 3 rounds of clinical studies, and then you have to answer the question, okay, you've gone through this 3 years of clinical studies, and you show a propensity for the effectiveness of your drug, but what's going to be the effect of that 6 years from now? Well, you can't answer that. Well, you can say, well, this is what happened to the mice, but it's not the same thing. So I look at artificial intelligence and I say, are these stocks that I'm investing in with the advent, with the belief that the future is coming faster than I think, and am I going to have the same situation? No. We need no FDA approval. We just need to put the pedal to the metal and make it happen. Now, I want you to understand what artificial intelligence is. And I think I was with a couple. Lady had Parkinson's, and she was very interested in what I knew about this. And I basically, the way I explained it to her is, I said, right now, if you go into a doctor and you say, I've got this thing that I think is Parkinson's, you are going to get the knowledge of one person, one he or she doctor, and if they're over 50 years of age, they're probably not up to speed. So one doctor. Now, on the other hand, if I hear a noise in my BMW and I take it to the BMW dealership, they will hook it up to the computer and see if the computer tells them if anything is wrong. And then they will take and say, okay, of all the BMW 535i's in the world, has any of them had any problems of this nature over the last 5 years? And they'll do that. And they'll compare my car to every other BMW 535 in the world. That's where we're going with medicine. That's what we're going to have with artificial intelligence. You will go into a doctor's office and you will sit in front of a screen, and there will be an avatar, and they will say, Mr. Grinkmeyer, how are you feeling today? This will be an avatar. Let me look at your family history. Let me look at your genome sequencing. Let me look at your health record and compare it to every male, every other of the 1.4 billion males in the world, and see how you are comparing and what we can learn from them. That's what's going to happen. I won't sit in front of a doctor. I'll sit in front of a screen, and that will have all the knowledge of the medical world at its disposal in an instant. I won't be diagnosed by one doctor. I will have the same benefit that my BMW has, and that's brought about by artificial intelligence. Can you imagine the computing power that is going to be needed to make that happen? Can you imagine that? This will not just be in the doctor's office. This will be in every aspect of your life. You will get the benefit of not one mind, not 2 minds, not even 5 minds. You will get the benefit of all the minds in the world and all the knowledge that has been accumulated and all the data that has been accumulated. That's what's happening. So when I show you this picture of 23 years ago, and these young guys that created the Apples, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Facebooks, the NVIDIAs, they are just the pioneers to what is going to happen next. The astronauts are showing up over the future. So you have to ask yourself, why are there 220 stocks of the 6,052 that I follow that are up over 100% thus far this year? I've shown you some of them as we've gone through this. I've studied every one of them. And what I am doing is putting this information together for your access. And I'm putting it in my portfolio, which I choose to call Bus 13. And I'm inviting you to get on the bus. Now, there is a ticket charge on the bus. It's $20, okay? I spend, as an average, I told you in a video yesterday, $490 a month, almost $5,000 a year to gather all the knowledge and to go through it. I spend approximately 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year doing this research. I have something in the neighborhood of 10,000 people at my Discord that share their information with me. That's what I'm offering you on the bus. Bus 13. You'll see it out in the description. It'll say link to Bus 13, and you can get all the details there. This is exciting. I just wish I was 25 years old. No, I wish I was 18 years old. I had a summer job. I could make $6,000 in the summer and while I'm going to school, and I could put it into a Roth IRA. And I could do that for the next 25 years, and I'll be a billionaire if I can get my 30% annual rate of return. And that's what the bus is showing me, that if I can pick the right stocks, I can get the right help, I can get the help of the gurus, I can pay for this information, I can get a 30% annualized return for the next 10 years. And if you're 18 years old, maybe you can get it for the next 30 years. And then that would only make you 48. No, let's do it for 50 years. Then you'd be 68, and you'll be a billionaire. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm here to help you, and I'll be here tomorrow with some more information.